Okay. Okay. This is week 2 of your marimba project. And we are going to take a few minutes right now and explain what you're about to do in the second part. So all of you should have written down you've had this filled out, and you should have a rhythm written in. It doesn't have to be 100% what you don't have to be locked into it. You still can make changes, so please make sure you're writing in pencil. And today, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be adding some notes, but you're going to take your time with this, okay? Okay, now a short lesson on chords. In marimba, we have 3 basic chords, and I'm going to show you how we build them. And they create a beautiful harmony, okay? You all know the steps of the marimba, C, D, E, F, G, C. Well, we have these certain building blocks that we use to kind of help structure our music, okay? We have a tonic chord or a home chord, and it's built in a series of skips. You have C, E, and G, okay? And when you play them together, okay? All right, so that's a nice home chord, a home bass chord. It's a great chord to start a song with, and it's a great chord to end a song with, okay? All right, your next chord is called an F chord, and we call it an F chord because you start on F, okay? And again, you build it in a series of skips, so it would be F, A, and C. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, same kind of quality, okay? F, A, C. Okay, so it has a nice tone to it, okay? And then if you put it together with the C chord, okay? All right, already you can hear the building blocks used for a song, okay? And your final chord is a G chord, and it's called a G chord because you built it on G. So you have G, you have G, B, and then you have the D if you were to skip. But you notice that you're kind of skipping into your neighbor's yard. Okay, so you don't have to keep it in skips. You can always leap back down to here. So G, B, and D. Okay, so when we play it together. Okay, all right, now if we were to put these chords together, they would sound actually pretty cool. Okay, for instance, if we did. Okay, that itself is could be a song if you want to call it that. It's not the most interesting of songs, but it's kind of cool. Okay, and what you're going to do today is you're going to use those chords to build a melody for your rhythm. You're going to start building up your song. Okay, you're going to be working on your soprano line today. All right. And we are giving you 2 options, 2 ways you can use your chords. All right? You can we're either going to give you the green one or the purple one. I'm going to go ahead and use the purple one for right now because, you know, purple is my favorite color. So this one, it has the C chord first. It has the F chord second, the G chord third, and the C chord as the last one. So the first chord and the last one are the same. All right? And then what you're going to do today is you're going to get a marimba and you're going to play with fingers. And you're going to figure out how you would play your chord progression. Okay? You would do, like for this one, it would probably be good to do C, E, G, E to keep your chords here. For the F chord, your F and A are here, but your C is going into your neighbor's yard. So you're going to need to play F, A, and C down here. And then, of course, I just showed you the G chord is going to be G, B, and D. Okay? So that's what you're going to do. So first thing you're going to do is get familiar with where those chords are on your marimba. Okay? And just play around with that chord progression. Once you're comfortable with that, then we want you to take your rhythm and try playing your rhythm with that chord progression. And this is how you can do it. You're going to need to, this might help drawing a little line, a very faint line down the middle of your project, so that way you can see 4 even boxes. And that'll help divide up your piece. Okay, so I was using the purple strip. Okay, and you'll notice that we have these blanks right up here. What you're going to do is you're going to write down the chords, the letters that we gave you. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take these chords right here and you're going to apply it to this rhythm. So C, E, and G, bump, bump, T is for that one. So now I got to figure out what will work well on a bump, bump, T. Well, there's a variety of ways. You could do bump, bump, T. You could do bump, bump, T. Okay? It does not matter what note you start with as long as it's either C, E, or G. Okay? It does not matter if you play one note at a time or if you play 2 notes together. Okay? You got to figure out what works best for your group. All right? Another way to play bump, bump, T, bump, bump, T. Notice that that was just one note. Okay, you don't have to use all 3 letters. You can just use 1 letter. Or if you want to use 2 letters separately, bump, bump, T. Okay, or you could do bump, bump, T, or bump, bump, T, or bump, bump, T, or bump, bump, T, or bump, bump, T. As you can see, there's a variety of ways you can do this, as long as you are using the letters in your chord. Once you figure that out, move on to the next measure and notice the chord that you're using, F, A, and C. Again, make sure that you are only using those letters. Do you have to use all of them? No. Can you use just one? Sure. Just make sure it is in that chord. Now here I put T, 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 so I got to figure out how I'm going to play T, 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 T on an F chord. Okay? T, 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 T. Okay? Now, this is going to be a judgment call for your group because yet everybody in the group has to be able to play it. Sure, you could possibly do it, but I can't ask everyone in my group to play that because that is a lot of bouncing around, and there's no guarantee I'm going to be able to play it at a speed that's comfortable once we put it in performance. Okay? So maybe for T, 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 maybe I just want to do it on 1 note. Or at most, maybe just 2. Okay, or whatever is closest. Okay, so that's what you're going to do here, T, 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 T. And then here, you're going to use the G chord, G, B, D, to play on bump, bump, T. Let's see here, bump, bump, T. Or bump, bump, T. Or bump, bump, T. Or bump, bump, T. Or maybe just bump, bump, T. Or bump, bump, T, or whatever you feel comfortable with. And then finally, this last box, we're only going to use C, E, or G. Now notice there's only one sound. It's only one ta. So you can either play one ta on C, on E, or on G, or you can play 2 here, or here, or here. Okay? Again, it's up to you and what you're comfortable with. All right. If I were you, I wouldn't write anything down just yet. Once I get comfortable with each chord in each box, then I can have a little fun and play something that goes with this. Okay? You might want to have a partner watch you to make sure you're using the right chords. For instance, C chord here, F chord here, G chord here, C chord here. I could do something like bump, bump, T, 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 T. Bump, bump, T, ta. Okay? And that would work because I have E and G for the bump, bump, T for my first measure. Here, let me show you what I have here. Okay? I have E and G here, bump, bump, T. For the T, 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 I went T, 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 T. So that's F and A. And then for here, I went G and D, bump, bump, T. And then for the last ta, I put the two together. I tried to look for stuff that's close together. That way I'm not bouncing all over the place. And worse, I'm not crossing mallets. Okay? The main thing is you want to keep something that everyone in your group can do. Okay? Be ready for a lot of ideas to be exchanged. Because you're going to have, this is a great time to get a lot of ideas together. Be patient with each other as you try different stuff. And you don't have to decide on anything today. Okay, notice how I have nothing written down just yet. I'm going to give myself and my group time to play around. The main thing that you need to get used to is the rhythm on these chords. Okay, because I could make something different. I could do something like bump, bump, T, 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 bump, 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 T, 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 bump, bump, T, ta. I could do something like that, and my group can try it, okay? I could put them out like this. Bump, bump, T, 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 bump, bump, T, ta. Okay? Just try different stuff today. But get the rhythm in your hands. Get the harmony in your hands so that way you have something to play with for it next week.